Ah, I see you there. Come, step into the light, for it is the only place that the shadows cannot reach. This is indeed the corners of chaos. And I am the old man. There have been some stirrings in the warp, if you will, about Primarchs. Several major figures in this tumult that we call the internet has been discussing whether Primarchs should be in the 40k setting or not. I am not sure. I have been around long enough to remember a time when Primarchs were a name mentioned in brief in a codex somewhere, and that was it. Now, of course, they are omnipresent. I'd like to discuss for a little while whether it's good or bad to have the Primarchs again in the 41st millennium, alive and well. So there's pros and there's cons. So let's discuss the pros first. The Primarchs are the paragon, if you will, for their chapter or legion, whatever you want to call it. They are the archetype. They are the poster child, if you wish. That makes them instantly interesting because they are supposed to personify all that is great, powerful, or perhaps flawed about their chapter or legion. Over time, these Primarchs have been very developed. The Horus Heresy books, of course, are mostly responsible for that. They have become, for many people, fan favorites. I could liken them to, as you can see here, comic book heroes and villains. Look, it's all well and good that James Gordon and the police, Commissioner Gordon, they're fighting the Joker. That's a good story. But you'll be saying, where's Batman? Apocalypse could be destroying a country. And it might be very compelling. But you're going to say, where are the X-Men? Where is Wolverine? The Primarchs have become a lot like that. They are fan favorites. They are archetypes in a way. And people gravitate to them. I'm sure if you play any Warhammer Space Marines, you're going to have a favorite Primarch. You're not going to say, no, I don't like any Primarchs in terms of their story, their background, or something. You're not going to oppose that. So, for a lot of people, I would equate them to these comic book superheroes and supervillains. And that draws in people, no doubt about it. There are other pluses, of course. For some people, it's a great modeling opportunity. If you have Ultramarines and all of a sudden Robute Gilliman comes out, you're going to say, yeah, I want to paint him. Whether you use him or not, that's another story. You have Plague Marines. You're going to want Mortarion. Whether you use him or not. Now, if these models are abused in the game, instant win button, obviously that should be dealt with. But just the idea of modeling them and putting them with your collection, I don't see a problem with that either. in terms of story. Should they be back? And some would say it's great that they're back. And for several reasons, beyond simply, oh, my favorite hero has returned to the present day. No, I mean more than that. Gilliman coming back. Oh boy, the Primarchs back, but what does he find? The Imperium is a shadow of what it once was. It was supposed to be this secular, advanced society. And instead, what has he got? Superstition? Backwardness? He woke up into a nightmare, to be honest with you. So now he's trying to put it back together. He's trying to be like the Emperor and making humanity move to this golden age. But it's too late. And I think that makes for some compelling drama, potentially, if he's trying his best, but it's over. It's already too late. The Lion has returned as well, and I again have heard a lot of flack about the Lion returning. The idea that, well, he hasn't met Gilliman yet. Well, the galaxy is really big, and he just hasn't gotten there yet. What happens when they do get together? Furthermore, I think they did a very interesting thing with the Lion in Son of the Forest. The fact that he is willing to forgive the unforgiven? Now, surely that must have shocked a lot of people. It would also shock the Inquisition. It would also shock the inner circle of the Dark Angels. Both the Inquisition and people like the inner circle, they might be suspicious. Again, that would make for a compelling story. Now, they haven't gotten to all of that yet, but I'm old enough to remember when things never changed at all. So the fact that the Lion has only been around for a couple of years in the lore again, as a model again, well, he's there and it's going to happen, I would suspect. It's not like 3rd edition when some name got dropped and you never heard of him for 10 years afterwards. So a lot of people would say that the Primarchs returning is good. It has advanced the story. It has brought back these great characters that we know and some of us truly love. For some, yes, they're out there on the battlefield and they want to do that. They want to be that. I could understand that too. So, in conclusion to that, perhaps it's a good thing that they've returned. On the other hand, it may not have been such a good thing. Perhaps the Primarchs returning is a mistake. From a story perspective, is it a mistake? The Imperium is supposed to be without hope. It is 2 seconds to midnight. Last one out, shut the lights and lock the door. It's over. Humanity is hanging by a thread. Threats from without, threats from within, and they are so insular, so superstitious. What are they fighting for anyway? But the introduction of the Primarchs coming back like this offers hope. How is this a grim, dark setting when there is palpable hope? Their return could change the tide. And for some people, and I understand this impulse, for some people that is a bridge too far. You have taken away the grimdark. You have restored hope, light again. enlightenment from Gilliman, forgiveness from the lion. There are other reasons, story-wise, of course, that the Primarchs are legendary, mythical. They belong in an age so long ago that if they're remembered at all, it is simply as legends. Having them back alive and walking around every battlefield in the 41st millennium, well, they're not myths anymore. They are there. And that kind of diminishes their impact. Not just in the lore, but also as a player, as someone who likes these stories. They're no longer myths. They are average, flawed maybe, but so they're strong, okay? It's like, King Arthur returning with Excalibur to 21st century Britain. It's like George Washington stepping out of Mount Vernon going, okay guys, what are we doing now? Be like Julius Caesar, Augustus Caesar coming into Rome. What does it mean? From a player perspective, the idea has always been that you are the general. Now, whatever HQ back in the lingo of the day, 3rd edition, whatever HQ it was, that could be you. That was kind of like your representative on the battlefield, giving the commands. So if I was taking a Chaos, 2,000 point Chaos list, Chaos Marine list, the Chaos Lord would be the HQ, and he would kind of be a proxy for me. I know a lot of people who have done that. But are you Gilliman? Are you Fulgrim? Don't answer that. You might be. No, but seriously. You're not there on the battlefield really then, are you? You don't get that little role play aspect, which does exist in 40k. Your commander, if he's a Chaos Lord or a Chaos Sorcerer, he could be killed. You could play it that way. But if these Primarchs are 10,000 years old and they're back and running around, does that diminish them as these symbolic characters? On the battlefield as well, on the tabletop as well. Why would you take Marneus Calgar? If you could take Mr. Ultramarine himself. Why would you play as a random Chaos Lord when you could take Magnus? So, I see that argument too. So where does the old man stand on this? I will show in another video that I have quite a few of the plastic Primarchs. For me, it's a modeling opportunity, it's a painting opportunity. Have I used them in games of 40k? Some of them yes, some of them no. Are the Primarchs returns? Are they damaging the setting? And are they damaging the game? The setting, it remains to be seen. The fact that the Lion is on the other half of the Imperium, he may never meet Gilliman. And maybe that's appropriate. Others are upset with that idea, and they want them to meet, and they want everything to change. I don't know if that's such a good idea. The Demon Primarchs, on the other hand, they're not dead. They have been in the warp, in and out, doing things. But the trick with them, and I'm fine with it, but the trick with them is most people in the Imperium would not recognize them. The average Cadian would just think, geez, it's another monster. Space Marines might not recognize him either. Sure, the Grey Knights would. Sure, some members of the Inquisition would know them. But the average warrior may not even get what that thing is. It's just this big thing with wings. It's another demon or something. So I don't have a problem with the demon Primarchs per se. Gilliman and the Lion coming back, I could see that as being more problematic. On the tabletop, if I were in charge of Games Workshop, not only would I give everyone a big discount, I would make it where the Primarchs, demon Primarchs, regular Primarchs, I would make them like in the old days of 3rd edition. You'd have to ask your opponent permission to use them. This way, they may not be auto-include necessarily. You have to get your opponent's permission. It's the way it was back in the day. Going forward, are the other Primarchs going to return? I would bet top dollar that they will. Eventually, sooner or later. It's been a slow grind for the good guys, no doubt. You've got 4 demon Primarchs and only 2 loyalist Primarchs. But there are plenty loyalist Primarchs who are allegedly alive. Maybe they're in the warp. Maybe they are like Vulcan and they're just living. They could come back. There are some demon Primarchs that could come back as well. Lorgar is in the warp somewhere. Protarbo, it looks like he's going to be coming back very soon. If that is the case, so be it. What I do not want is those Primarchs that are already dead, dead, they need to stay dead. Sanguinius is dead. His return would ruin Blood Angels. They wouldn't have the Black Rage anymore. If he's back, how does that work? I don't want Ferrus Manus back. He is dead. His head chopped off. As Charles Dickens would say, Ferrus Manus is as dead as a doornail. He needs to stay that way. The Night Lords, Conrad Kurz, he needs to be dead too. His death at the hands of an Imperial assassin, with him saying, "I've known you were coming, and what you are about to do proves that I was right about my father." He's dead. Let him stay that way. At least then there are still some stakes that maybe a loyalist or a demon Primarch returns and that somehow they could be destroyed in the 41st millennium. Which would add, like I said, a little more stake to this. Well, I think I have rambled long enough. Tell me, what do you think? Do you think the Primarchs returning are a good thing? Energizing players, pushing the lore forward, giving the Imperium something to fight for? Or do you believe that this is a cash grab by GW? That it takes these mythic characters and reduces them to nothing? And even on the tabletop, it robs the player of agency. He's not on the battlefield himself because Mortarion is there instead. Let me know what you think. It is time for you to depart. Just remember my wisdom. Additions may come and go, but chaos is evil.